So I think, although Trump, and I don't think he wanted this, I mean, from everything that Michael Wolff said about those calls, which were, I just want this to be perfect. I want this, I want this to be in, boom, out, finish, ceasefire, done. Let's close it. We finish this talk. I think that what Trump is trying to do there is he does not, and Michael Wolff says, and I think this is absolutely right, he doesn't think he has the attention span to do a long, drawn-out slugfest fight with Iran. What he's trying to do is shut it down to give him enough space to get back to what really wants, which is, if you like, this new Middle East business world, this new structure whereby Lebanon and Syria and others will be brought into some form. We will have the Abraham Accords 2.0, and that through this will open a universe of business and trading possibilities through, and that he hopes that Iran can just sort of stand on the sidelines and not do anything about it till he can find some other agreement with Iran. But the main thing is the headline. Let's have a big headline. We've done it. There's a new Middle East. Everyone's in this new sort of matrix of money, investments, resources, and of course, the resources of Iran, which are so vital to China, and also the fact that the Gulf states, and that if he can take that whole, if you like, corridor of the Middle East, he can take it into southern Central Asia and disrupt the BRICS and their connectivity plans in those Stan areas, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all those areas. He can disrupt it and start moving the economic sphere into this. At the same time that he's doing, if you like, an attempt to cage China literally by tariff structures, and also weakening Russia by reigniting the tensions in the Caucasus again. And so Russia and Putin is taking this very seriously, and so is China. And they are very angry about this. They're angry about the deceit because Putin thinks he was deceived by those attacks on the strategic bombers just the day before the Istanbul talks, just as Iran is. And China believes also that Xi was cheated by Trump in the discussions that they had. So there's a real sort of sense of preparing for a new and wider Cold War that is being pushed. I mean, Kazakhstan in the north, that is, I was in Russia around about the time of the Crocus hall, the concert hall that was burnt down. And they were Tajiks that had come down who were found to be responsible. And there was a big structure in Kazakhstan for recruiting people, Afghans and Tajiks and others, and for infiltrating them into Russia or to Iran or whatever. And now we see that Azerbaijan is engaged in the same idea. Now, the reports, I can't verify them, but recently Russia arrested a number of Azeri Russian citizens, and that produced a dramatic response from Aliyev, who arrested all the Sputnik journalists and many others in Azerbaijan. And they roughed them up, and they've charged them with espionage and other charges. Now, there's always been a sort of criminal groups in Russia or from Azerbaijan. They're known as sort of a mafia there. But this is more serious, I believe, because it's thinking the Russians may be suspecting that these groups were also facilitating the infiltration of some of those pre-positioned units that were ready for the attack on the strategic bomber system in Russia, the spider's web. And that also Azerbaijan was facilitating the attack on Iran. So Azerbaijan and Armenia too, and the question of Turkey's role. The United States is trying to woo Erdogan with promises of F-35s, if only he'll mothball the S-400s that he has. And I think that the Israeli aim is the key to their, if you like, their new corridor, the new, if you like, Abraham Accord 2.0, a business plan right through to Asia, is that Turkey should persuade both Syria and Lebanon that they have no choice and incentivize them both to join into this new sort of greater Israel project. So this is why there's a lot of tensions that all these proposals that are coming out of America at the moment, the intent to sort of cut off China from trade by putting differential tariffs on China if they transship goods through Vietnam or another country, the prospect of new sanctions on Russia, the attack on Iran as a pivot, a key pivot for Russia and China of the whole BRIC structure. All of these things are producing a really strong response from Russia. I mean, has given very tough response to Trump in this, and says, we know exactly what you're doing in the Caucasus. We know what you are doing in Azerbaijan, and we won't put up with it. And so Russia responded to this by destroying the two refineries in Ukraine that were fueled from Baku, from Azerbaijan. There was Azerbaijan input that was fueling these two refineries. This was as a warning to Azerbaijan, stop playing around with this. So Iran will be saying something rather similar, I suspect, to the Azeris.